Hi everyone, my name is Bella Anderson and I'm the Victorian Mounting Yard Analyst, joining Betfair for a weekly Mounting Yard preview, and I cannot wait to look into this Flemington card we've got coming up ahead. It's going to be a cracking day of racing at headquarters, and from a Mounting Yard point of view, I am just so excited to see these horses. It's great when we've got some great competitive racing horses at their peak and in winning form, so hopefully we can find a few winners. There's going to be a lay as well, so let's get dug into this card. Well, race one is for the 2-year-olds over the 1,000 metres down the Flemington straight, and obviously with 2-year-olds the Mounting Yard is so important because you want to see that they're handling their first time at the races crucially. Obviously the top three in the market are first starters, with Elative, Massara and Butch Cassidy. Mark 10, a $1.2 million colt. I can't wait to see him. I haven't seen him previously. Butch Cassidy, a $750,000 colt. So with these expensive yearlings, you're going to hope that they're a really good looking type. You hope for that sort of money that they're going to be impeccably built, well bred, they're going to be absolute athletes. But I think the key thing when we're heading to the yard for the 2-year-olds is to see that they're handling their first time at the race as well. So look to see them relaxed, not too worked up. I think the weather's going to be pretty cool on Saturday, so you don't want to see any horses sweating. They shouldn't be sweating pre-race. They've got to really conserve all their energy, and I think the 2-year-olds that are handling the day the best are going to be the ones most effective. And we also see as well that the 2-year-olds with race experience tend to be the ones that manage, particularly down the straight, to go their best. And Tabitha Set, a filly I've seen a few times, I think the market probably has her at her right price. She's a big, solid filly, and my only query with her is the gap between runs and whether or not she might just need this to tie her over. But Princess Del Hallow is the one I wanted to focus in on. I saw her parade first up and she had a bad coach. She got really warm. She wasn't really presented in winning condition, but I thought she ran really well. She finished 4th on that occasion. She ran above my expectations of the race. So I think she's going to make really good improvement, and I think the race fitness is going to really benefit Princess Del Hallow in the first. Race 2 at Flemington is for the stayers, and I normally take no part in these races. I find they're an absolute lottery and they all just take turns, but Midnight Blue saw him first up and loved the way he was presented. Obviously first start for the stable, and he looked great. He's a really nice staying type. He was forward fitness wise, he was moving well, really healthy in the coat, so considering that, I think he's going to be here in really good order second up. So Unusual, seen him his last few. He's a consistently well parading horse. He's hard fit and ready for this. And Timor as well, he's another horse. He's made really good natural improvement throughout his prep, and his first few starts, he was lacking fitness, but he's ready now. So Midnight Blue, So Unusual, Timor, they're all going to be there in winning chances. Race 3, 1,000 metres down the straight, and I cannot wait for this Mounting Yard. There are some seriously good-looking horses in this field, and I'm a massive fan of several of them. There's absolute eye candy on eye candy and beautiful race horses. Oxley Road, he just needs to run up to his looks. He's one of the best looking horses racing at the moment. He's such a good looker. If he can run up to his looks, he looks over the odds. On the lead, he's such a beautiful horse. He's strong, he's powerful, he walks well, he's the ultimate professional. Really like on the lead as a horse. Mamaragan, he is a horse I've loved from Sydney when I saw him as a 2-year-old. I've always had such a big opinion of Mamaragan, and now he's come down to Victoria and he is absolutely airborne. He arguably should have probably won both starts this prep, and he's a naturally burly horse. He holds really good condition. You'll see him in the Mounting Yard and he'll look big, he'll look stocky, he'll look chunky, and that's just muscle and power, and he just oozes quality in the Mounting Yard, oozes strength, and I just love Mamaragan as a horse. So they're the 3 I've narrowed down, but the other 2, Catalos and Easy Single, I haven't seen before. Easy Single, first up, good fresh record suggests he's going to present in a really good manner first up, but they're 2 horses it's just a yard I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into. Race 5, the 1,600 metres, and this is where my lay of the day is coming up. Munamek. I'm incredibly scared laying a Nick Ryan horse. They're absolutely flying at the moment, but Munamek is a horse I have a love-hate relationship with from the Mounting Yard. He is typically not a great parader. It's very normal for him to be toey. He gets warm. He's a heavy set of horse. He holds a lot of condition. He looks quite fat and not fit, but that's just him. He will be fit for this. Don't be concerned if you do see him toey and warm. It's very normal for him, but Considering those things that I've just said, rising to the mile is a really big question mark for me, just because he does waste this energy pre-race, being toey and sweating. He is such a big, heavy horse. He looks to me that he's more suited over shorter distances, such as the 14 or even 15. So really big question mark for me, the mile for Monomek. And at 480, I think he's one I'm happy to risk, and I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him drift out either as well. And I think the main thing as well, you've got other horses that are just going to relish the rise in distance. I'm a Shelby, Kettle Hill, Sparkle, Queen Air. They're all horses that are fit and will really appreciate the distance. So considering the 480, happy to lay Monomek. Race 6, the sprinters for the 3-year-olds as well. This is just an absolute lottery race, and I'm not going to be able to provide a lot of insight from the mounting yard because I have seen most of these horses and I can guarantee they're all going to be looking really good on Saturday. Sebenak, he's one that I think's over the odds, number 3. I really liked his parade last start, and he's another horse who just needs to run up to his looks. Really good place chance at his current price as well, so I'm going to definitely give Sebenak a push. The stable's also in really good form at the moment as well, the Hawks camp. Paris Dior, number 6, she's a beautiful filly. She's not overly big, she's not a typical sprinter in the fact that there's not a lot of her, but what there is really good quality. She's got a deep girth, she moves exceptionally well, and because she's quite small, she's not going to need that race fitness under her belt. So first up, I'm going to be pretty confident in the way Paris Dior's presented. Gold Revolver, saw him when he won his maiden at Moe, and he's another small pocket rocket. He just has speed written all over him despite being small. He's just got that really short, sharp stride that looks like he's just going to jump out of the gates and spring, and typical Waterhouse spot galloper, hard fit for this, and he's got that deep girth as well. He's got the key attributes of a horse despite not being overly big. So Gold Revolver I can give a case for. Opal Ridge is fascinating, obviously coming down from New South Wales. Haven't seen this galloper also first up, but heard the trainer on the radio saying that she's actually come back a bigger, more sophisticated filly in herself. So really looking forward to seeing Opal Ridge. And Benedetta, she's another one. She's not overly big. The team have been quite vocal in the fact that she needs gaps between runs. She's had the 4 weeks between, I think, almost all of her runs, just so she doesn't lose condition. She has a tendency to be quite light, and they don't want her to turn up to the races with anything less than strength and that meat on the bone that she needs to get her through the race. So really key fact that she's had the 4 weeks between runs, and Benedetta is going to be there in winning form as well. But a bit of a lottery, but Sebenak I think looks a really good each way chance. Undoubtedly the most exciting race on the card, race 7, the Australian Guineas, and oh my God, my mouth. I'm going to be drooling in this mounting yard. There are some seriously good looking horses, some handsome colts. It's no secret I'm absolutely obsessed with the Fortune Teller, Bankmore, Holy Mans. They're horses I've loved from day one in the mounting yard. They are just good looking specimens, and they do everything right. They make an impression each and every time I see them. So they're 3 horses I really like the chances of. Elliptical, he's a really interesting one from my point of view. He's a solid bodied colt, and although he was good first up, he had plenty of improvement to come. He's carrying a lot of excess weight, and he was quite coltish in the way he was going around the yard as well. He was neighing, he was a bit distracted. So he's one I've got a question mark on. I think the way he presents on Saturday is going to be really important for Elliptical. Mr. Maestro, do not be deterred if you see him toey, worked up, fizzy. He'll parade with 2 strappers. That's just him. He's a high energy colt and very normal for him. In fact, you'd want to see him parading like that because that's very typical for him. Attrition, he's the ultimate professional. I've seen him at 4 of his 5 starts, and he's just a good looking horse. Turns around in very similar manner each and every outing, and I'm sure Saturday's going to be no different. He looks a great chance. And Laced Up Heels, pretty similar to Mr. Maestro. She's a hot filly. It's normal for her to be quite toey and warm as well, so don't be deterred if you see Laced Up Heels presenting like that. But I'm really keen on Jacquinot in this race. $2.80, he is my best bet of the card at Flemington. I just think Jacquinot looks a fantastic chance. I think he's undoubtedly the horse to beat, and the reason why he's my best bet is because of the sharp physical improvement I've seen from him this campaign in particular. First up, although he won, I didn't really like him from the yard. He was a bit backwards in his coat. He was hot, he was sweaty, he was not fully wound up fitness-wise, and like I said, he won. He outrun the way I thought he'd run, and he put in a huge effort. But the improvement I saw for him second up, he looked like a different horse. He was gleaming in his skin. He was really conserving all of his energy. He put his head down, and the second his jockey got aboard, he knew it was game time. You could see this determination in his eyes. He just switched on. He knew what he was there to do. The improvement he made between first and second up runs fills me with confidence as to how he's going to look on Saturday. Third up, he's going to be cherry very right for this. He's going to be hard fit. I expect to see this professional horse. He's got the freshness out of his legs, stepping up to the mile. He's got speed written all over him. He's got strength. He just has all of the attributes I'm looking for in an Australian Guineas horse. So Jacquinot, my best bet of the card at Flemington. Race 8, the Group 2 Blamey over the 1600 metres. For me, this is a 2-horse race, but really keen on Tuvalu. I'm not being biased here. I think Tuvalu looks over the odds. I think there shouldn't be as much of a market difference as there is between Tuvalu and Gentleman Roy. I do think they're going to be the 2 horses that will be fighting out the finish, and I think one of them will be winning. But I think you can't have such a big price difference as what they currently are. I think Tuvalu deserves to be shorter. Love this horse. The team have him set to be winning this. They want to be winning this, and they're going to be really positive in the way that they're going to present him to the races. So Tuvalu looks a great chance. Gentleman Roy, he's such a pleasure to watch in the mounting yard. He just walks around like he's done it 100 times. The team are absolutely airborne, the Hayes, and they have their horses hard fit. They're feeling really well within themselves. He's got this lovely rich coat to him, Gentleman Roy, and he does everything right, so can't fault him. Pounding, pretty similar. He is going to be consistent. You know what you're going to see it from Pounding. He's going to be fit, strong, feeling well. Very typical, but I don't think he's as strong as a winning chance as Gentleman Roy and Tuvalu. And Uncle Bryn, I think he looks under the odds. I'd probably be even tempted to lay him to the place to see what sort of odds we get on Saturday, but seen him a fair bit. And first up, I wasn't thrilled with the way he came back. He was a little bit dull in his coat. I thought his demeanour was slightly off. He was a little bit too chill for the Uncle Bryn I'm used to seeing, and he had stacks of fitness improvement to come. So up against hard fit horses such as Pounding, Gentleman Roy and Tuvalu, I don't think Uncle Bryn will be troubling them at all, and I think he was around $8 at the time of filming this, so I think he looks a good lay place chance there. But Tuvalu is the one for the Blamey. Final event on the card, race 9 over the 1200 metres, the benchmark 90, and I think it's a pretty similar story to the last couple. I think it is a race and 2 in the market, has this pretty smack bang on. I think To Jump Back and Life Lessons, they're the 2 horses to beat. So I pretty much agree with the market here. They're both honest, good paraders. To Jump Back, 3 runs this prep and he's been the pick of the yard twice. He has been presented in outstanding, immaculate condition this time in. He's a bigger, stronger version of himself. He's got a great attitude, race fitness. He's primed for this. And Life Lessons, she's a beautiful mare. She's a really lovely walker in the yard. She really stretches out and covers a lot of ground. She's a big scopy girl. She's got a lot of strength to her and has a lot of condition, but in saying that, the 10 weeks between runs, that's my only question mark with her, and perhaps why I can see that To Jump Back is probably deservedly favourite, just because she's quite a big girl, has had the gap between runs, but it's moody. She's going to have some sort of fitness under her belt as well, so you can't be too worried by that. But that would be the only reason I would say To Jump Back is probably deserved favourite, just because he's got the race fitness under his belt. But Life Lessons, she's a beautiful mare. So for me, race 9's between To Jump Back and Life Lessons. Well, that's it from my mounting yard preview of what there is to look forward to at Saturday at Flemington. It's going to be a great day of racing. There are some outstanding specimens of thoroughbreds going to be parading in the yard. It's going to be a terrific day. In summary, race 5, Munamek is my lay of the weekend. 480, I think he looks under the odds, going up against horses who are going to absolutely relish the step up in trip, and due to his type and the fact that he's quite a nervous parader, he uses a fair bit of energy pre-race. I'm willing to risk him at the short price. Munamek, race 5, is my best lay. And Australian Guineas, race 7, Jacquinot, he's my best bet of the weekend. I love how much improvement I've seen from him this time in between each runs, and third up, he is going to be absolutely ready for this, and I think he's undoubtedly the horse to beat. And particularly with Jacquinot, make sure you're checking the Betfair Exchange late, because I think he's probably going to get out to a really good backable price as well, just due to the strength and the quality in this Australian Guineas. But Jacquinot, my best bet of the day.
Gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-858-858.